My name's Melissa Young, and my student number is 000978666T, and this is a video assessment for naturopathic framework, and it will be a DVD assessment on the ethics and principles and philosophies. I just wanted to thank you both, John and Keiko, for actually joining me. I'm going to hand you a fact sheet on naturopathy and basically its history, its methods of treatment and its definition. Just for your perusal later, you don't have to have a look at it too much in depth now, but that's just something that we're going to have a look at. As I said to you earlier, I'm not sure whether you actually have experience going to a naturopath or not, but it is something that would be a very valid choice in a primary healthcare. It is coming from a totally different aspect of medical care compared to normal medicine, Western medicine. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what naturopathy is actually based on and how people get treated. So for future reference, if you're looking down the path of actually looking to get better health, then we can actually look at how to guide you into those sort of processes. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the central philosophies in naturopathy, and I've chosen to take the six-pointed philosophy rather than the three. The six-pointed philosophy is basically the hierarchy of healing, and that starts with the healing power of nature. It uses everything that's natural, everything that's plant-based to promote health. So it utilises a concept called the vital force, and the vital force is what I would prefer to call the spirit. Okay, Chinese call it qi or ki. Indians call it prana. Hebrews call it ruach. So there's lots of different areas that people, from ancient times have called this, but they all mean the same thing. It's the vital force of the plant, and we ourselves have a vital force. So it uses plant systems and their vital force to support our vital force. The second one is also based on treating the cause, not the symptoms. So if you're looking at going into a normal Western medical doctor, they would reduce you down to what we call a mechanistic and a reductionistic approach, and that would basically view you as a machine, and they break it all down to parts, and the part that's being affected, that's what they treat. Whereas naturopathy, they will treat you as a whole person. They will actually look at your lifestyle, they'll look at your diet, they'll look at even your spirituality, they'll look at your environmental stresses, and they'll look at how you deal with things on an emotional basis as well as what is currently occurring in your body. Now, but the thing that basically covers everything is first do no harm, because you're looking at things to help, not hinder, and heal, not kill. So you're not out to, be part of the pharmaceutical puppetry, but you're actually looking at being endorsing of that person's life, and by making them responsible and showing them the right path. So the next one, which sort of ties in with that whole concept, is being a doctor as teacher. So the doctor, i.e. the naturopath, i.e. me in this situation, I would show you and guide you on dietary lifestyle choices. If you're too sedentary, getting more active. If you're, if you're stressed out and you're burning the candle at both ends, we'd look at trying balancing your lifestyle and trying to actually get you, incorporating some sort of outlet that is a stress release. Whether it's listening to music, whether it's a spiritual concept, whether it's something like that. Okay. The next thing, as I said to you before, we treat the whole person. It's not something that we don't look at it as a mechanistic, reductionistic approach. We look at a whole person. That's why they call it a holistic practice. And the last one is prevention. Prevention is, basically the be-all and end-all of naturopathy. We are here to prevent you getting sick rather than fixing it once it's happened. So this is something that, if you start looking at it from a preventative course of action rather than living your lifestyle and drinking your Coke and smoking your cigarettes and partying hard and then going, oh, I feel sick, I'm going to run to the doctor and try and fix it. Well, that's not going to help, is it? Or it's the same like saying, oh, you know, I've burnt the candle at both ends, I've ended up with the flu or, you know, some sort of bronchial thing, and then go and getting antibiotics. This is actually working from it while you're healthy and utilising different changes so you can actually prevent any of those things happening or lessening the, you know, to a large degree if they do. Okay, so as I've discussed, you know, the differences in Western medicine, when they start looking at you from a mechanistic approach, that's why you don't spend very much time in the doctors, because they're basically broken down. What's your symptoms? Okay, cut and dried. You know, they don't care if your lifestyle's up the creek. They don't care if, you know, your mother's just died. They don't care if something's going wrong like that. What they do care about is, that's just, okay, you've got a stomach ulcer. I'll go and give you an antacid or something like that. They don't look at the fact that you might be working a 120-hour week. So they're the things that you need to consider when you start looking at healthcare. Okay, in my own personal life, I have adopted over the last few years a lot more naturopathic type philosophies, because I found that the lifestyle we were living was highly stressful, and we were eating way too much meat. We were eating way too much rubbish because we had so much transition on our plate. So we weren't looking after ourselves, we were just existing. So when I decided, no, we need to take the actual bull by the horn, so to speak, I've decided that no, if I'm going to be an example and be around for my children, then I need to do this proactively. So I basically came a clincher with a health situation that I chose, that we have to have more vegetables, more activity in our lifestyle, get our spirituality on track, and start to actually explore a lot more balanced lifestyle. And like things like, you know, living near a beach, going down the beach and listening to the waves, things like that. And also changing your cleaning products, things like that. Instead of using bleach, use vinegar and bicarb, things like that. Things that contraindications to treatments, and things that they're currently using that could come against the treatments that they're actually using. Main methods of treatments you're looking at are herbal medicine, massage, iridology, acupuncture if you're taking the Chinese medicine approach, Ayurveda, which is all about meditation and enlightenment and finding out what's going on within your own body, things like that. They can work really well as a prevention method. However, if they come in contact with a biomedical approach, there are situations that they can have contraindications. And what by that I mean, for example, if a woman's taking the pill and she's currently stressed and she decides to get like a naturopathic treatment like St. John's wort, for example, that's an anti-anxiety medication, that can actually nullify the pill. So there are situations that, you know, can actually counteract what normal pharmaceutical medicine does do. The next thing I want to discuss with you too is what happens during an appointment. When you make an appointment, they will discuss with you how long the appointment is to go for. They'll discuss with you how much it is, the initial appointment. More often than not, you'll spend more time at the initial appointment because they'll want to get your history, they'll want to get your lifestyle, your dietary habits, and they'll also, you know, they'll go through a method of questioning that's a bit like peeling an onion. There's lots of little layers that you finally get to, and you need a little bit more time for that. Also, what to bring, medical reports, blood tests, things like that, because naturopaths can actually read things like that and actually formulate a plan that you can actually do. Also, if there's a healthcare refund or rebate, also just the general expense of, you know, the cost of the actual appointment in addition to the cost of the herbal medicine. Okay, now as I've discussed, you know, taking the consultation, they start looking at, you know, what they start observing your symptoms and how you are within your person. They might use iridology, they might use your vital statistics, they'll definitely use what current medication you're on, they'll definitely use things like, medical tests, things like that. They may even ask you to go and get a medical test before they form a plan of action. They're quite willing to work within the framework of pharmaceutical medicine if they see a need to. And when they start documenting, the documentation takes on the method of what they call SOAP charting, that is subjective, objective, analysis and plan. So what is subjective comes from you, what is objective comes from us, what is the analysis is the ultimate plan, thing that they've decided to do, incorporating the plan of action. Okay? But there is heavy privacy laws, as with all consultations from a medical perspective. They document everything in that format so it's easily accessible, it's highly confidential, and is very much, as I've printed out here, there is a code of conduct for unregistered health practitioners that it's a bit hard to read, it's a little bit too small, but you can go through that at your own pace and actually find out exactly what naturopaths need to actually conform to by law. Okay? So it's not something that's just, not just a bunch of quackery. Even though it's not a regulated practice, it is a practice that has self-regulation according to the industry. Okay? So basically anything that we need to discuss from a naturopath's point of view, professionally we can't claim to cure. We can't say that we have the cure for cancer. We can't claim that we're a doctor because we're not. There are certain industry standards that we must uphold. Because we're not a regulated profession, we can't claim titles like that. We can say that we are a naturopathic practitioner, but we can't say that we're a doctor. Okay? So any questions?
Oh. Not the whole thing. Some at the door.
I know. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
That's all right.
I know it is your kids.
Yes, I know.
How do most naturopaths actually know what's lacking, like tests and things like that? Because everyone's different.
Everyone's different. You can actually have exploration through iridology, through just lifestyle choices, things like that. But quite often in a consultation, you'll tend to have people offloading. I've been to so many doctors. I've had this, and this done. Nothing's come to work. So what ends up happening is that naturopath will actually look at things like your eyes, and there's charts and things like that that will actually chart your eyes, and there are indicators. It's not a diagnosis tool, but there are indicators within your eye fibres that will tell you exactly where you can be depleted, and they'll ask you lots of questions.
How would you know if someone's lacking in certain vitamins, minerals, or iron, or something like that?
That would definitely come down to a dietary choice. That's why the diet is discussed.
How would you know that they were lacking in that? But what tests do that?
You can do urine tests, you can do blood tests, you can do all those sort of things. Again, if they felt the necessity, they would actually send you off to a GP to have those blood tests done. Mind you, trying to get a GP to actually do it is another question. But yeah, you can have all those medical tests done, bring them back to your naturopath, and they can diagnose from those tests.
I knew a woman that used to take bits of hair and...
yeah, she can have hair analysis done. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's some work for him,
yeah.
But actually, a naturopath, you don't do those tests. You
send them out to have them done. Yeah, exactly. We are not a diagnosis. We don't diagnose. What we do is we actually look at situations and have the blood tests and the tests actually diagnose for us. And we will guide according to what the tests are already saying. So in some